Awesome. All right. Hello, everyone. I am Arnav. I am a core team member here at Blockchain India. I also subsequently run my own Web3 marketing accelerator called Pantheon Labs. Today, I have with me Aditi, who is a fairly well-known face in the Web3 space, I believe. Very active, very up forward with helping people out. Now, we've been friends for some time now, and I'm looking forward to just understanding her journey, making sure that you all understand from a different perspectives to, what Web3 is all about, what each person's individual journey. If you see all the interviews that we've done so far, right? There is a different perspective towards uh, there's a different perspective towards what and how and where and when do you build in Web3. So that's going to be the goal over here. So thank you so much, Aditi, for dropping by today, which is fairly late for I think both of us. So thank you so much for taking this call. And yeah, would love to kick it off by understanding how you got started, why the interest in Web3 of all places, and what you've been doing.
For sure. First of all, happy to be here. I'm up for a Web3 conversation any time of the day, so it's cool. I'm cool. And yeah, looking forward to the talk basically. And I see this often many times people are asking, what's your journey? How do we start more specifically? Because people want to relate, like what how could we replicate a journey and how can we get started, and people try to tend to take points from someone else's journey, which is really helpful. I didn't had somebody like this when I was starting in this, which would have been very helpful. So for that reason, looking forward to it for sure.
Awesome. But I would love to know. So I know you worked at CoinSwitch, right after I think I left CoinSwitch. So, but after that, obviously there are a lot of tier one projects that you worked with. So, walk us through how you actually got into CoinSwitch in the first place. And
uh,
secondly, although I know the story, but I think the people should know. So, how do you go from that to obviously you were building cruise finance? And you were at Nordic, now you're at Super Oracles, I believe. So how's that journey been? How did you go from one place to another? Where has your interest and passion mostly lied? And yeah, just give us a breakdown of that.
Sure. So I think for like up till today, I've been working in Web3 for a good 3 years. And I'm conventionally a growth marketer. Why I'm adding this word is because 3 years back when I started, I had this great privilege of working in very early stage ventures and startups, which are, as you know, they're very agile. Like if you're doing community, you're not just doing community, you're doing content, social media, BD, partnerships, all of that, which gave me a great edge in identifying, okay, what icks me, what motivates me. And it was nonetheless community in a way, that I love interacting. I love those on ground activities in the terms, interacting with people, talking to them, identifying their pain points and stuff. So yeah, got into a very basic community moderation job in my college. And previously I'm not from this background. I was just studying marketing in my college, but I had that conventional set path of being in medical field because my entire family is from there. And COVID hit and stuff happened, and I ended up doing BBA and specializing in marketing. So I was always in the lookout of something disruptive, that hey, I don't want to just study economics and accounting. First of all, I don't know that, and I don't want to study. So I was just experimenting with my startups for my friends. That's when I identified basically this word NFT, this hot word NFT going around. And it was pretty new back then, so it was quite easy to just DM a founder and land a community moderation internship, like a very basic thing like that. So started from there. And I think I have that opportunistic edge quite a lot. And I basically forced myself into marketing meetings. From there it was like, okay, maybe she has a good knack for marketing as well. And from there, marketing, social media, BD, etc. And it's been a just whirlwind from then. Kept learning and learning and never looked back. And to answer your question about CoinSwitch, I was very much into, like basically college became my side chick, and my main thing was just Web3 and the stuff that I'm doing here.
I
So
love that characterization. But go on, sorry.
yeah. So you know, I- in even in my classes, I'm just scrolling LinkedIn, scrolling Twitter. Oh hey, I thought I lost you.
No,
Yeah.
it's all right. It's all
So
good. Go on.
and I wanted to, yeah, am I audible enough?
I think I lost you there for a second. One sec. Let me. Yeah, now you're fine. I think so. Yeah, now you're okay.
Yeah. Okay. Can you give me 1 minute connection if that? Hmm.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. Sure. Let me.
Mentioned, I'm at the back of the corner of my class scrolling LinkedIn and Twitter basically on my laptop and not listening to the lecture at all. So I found the opportunity of the internship. Basically, I came across the post of CoinSwitch that they're hiring social media interns, which was it was like that opportunity was finding me more than I was finding that opportunity, because I was working in social media, and I basically was managing social media of a few startups. So from managing, I went into intern happily because I knew what CoinSwitch could do for me, and it did. So of course, my experience was well for that role, and that's how I got into it. So it was just a pure LinkedIn scroll. And moving forward from there, I think CoinSwitch quite honestly opened a lot of doors for me. People started recognizing, because when you are associated with a project of that level, you certainly come from a certain experience and learning from the team, which I'm sure you know as well. And from there, of course, I got into cruise finance, which was like essentially deep tech trading focused. Like it was a hedging protocol. I learned a lot many things about DeFi. It gave me great exposure as well. And Nordic came actually at a very good time, where I had a very good knack at ecosystem, like how to grow ecosystem, because I was doing that at CoinSwitch after my promotion. So I just reached out to one of Nordic's VP through LinkedIn. I just cold DM them that, hey, I'm just working on this GTM for expansion to India for any layer two, and Nordic is that. How about we jump on a call? And from there on, it just like I became a part of the team. I signed a contract with them, and yeah, right now it's super. I'm just really happy and excited to be a part of this team and what they're doing. Uh, I can just talk about oracles for like an hour. That's one other conversation. But yeah, I hope this answers your question.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, just in terms of, since we've gotten on to the topic of building ecosystems, uh, what is it like? What's the one thing that you feel, you've worked with a layer two, there are a lot of protocols that are trying to enter into the space right now. Obviously, you have experienced both from a BD perspective and from a, developer perspective, getting those kinds of people into the ecosystem. So, what are a few things that you feel really work when you're trying to get both these kinds of audiences onto your project, into your ecosystem, just like that? Break it down for me.
Right. So, actually, that's a very good question. And I basically curated a program, sort of another dimension of the team that I was working with. See, at the end of the day, ecosystem is individual parts. Like there are a lot many things: the products that you are building, the community that you have, and the pivots that you're doing, the innovation that you're doing. And talking about layer two, at the end of the day, a layer two will be successful when projects are built on it, and not just built on it, they have a good TVL. They're working, they are out there as companies, entities, right? And what I'm seeing with all these hackathons and grants, it definitely kickstarts people and encourages them to build. But we we very seldom hear the name of a project which won basically a grant in the hackathon after, because getting money is not the thing. How to use that money, how to use that money in a way that, yes, I know my startup is working, and just growing. So what we did at Nordic for ecosystem was, instead of just giving them out the grant money, we were like, we actually want to kickstart the ecosystem expansion for this blockchain. So how about we sort of adopt your startup. We curated a specific growth team for just this purpose. We are giving you all our attention and human resource. Your marketing will be done, the marketer of this team. Your community will be done by us, and we'll also help you fundraise and stuff. So the 3 projects that I worked on, and that we kickstarted this basically campaign with, they had this TVL that was their goal in just 4 weeks, which in their roadmap was 4 months. And this kickstart happened because an experienced team was behind it. And now that project is somewhere getting funded. They are increasing their team. That is how basically somehow increase an ecosystem of a layer 2, the blockchain, because TVL is coming, it's growing, and of a startup. So this is a basic, just a one layer answer to your question.
No, absolutely. I definitely relate with that ethos. So I think that's probably the whole ethos behind Blockchain India. And I think that's also the ethos behind Pan Crypto Labs as well, which is the fact that you can build a product, right? I think that was the difficult part maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Now it's become the easy part. You can build a product out. That's not hard. What's hard is how do you take it from zero to 1,000, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people, and so on and so on and so on. And I think that's a very valid point that you need that kind of a support, and you need to know who to partner with also, right? It's not just you going out hiring an agency and then they do that job for you, or you go get a consulting agency and they do that for you. Not saying that they don't do a good job, but also at the same time, you need someone who is invested in your success just as much as you are with your particular product. So I definitely um, agree with the fact that that kind of an ecosystem building is probably at the crux of it, because like you said very rightly, it's not about giving money. It's actually about what kind of a longer ecosystem plan you have that ultimately grows your product. So the builders and founders watching this is definitely a learning for you that whenever it is that you build a dope product out, the job too is look for people within the ecosystem to partner with. Awesome. So another thing that I would love to know from you, Aditi, is, from a marketer to a marketer, what is your one biggest challenge that you face whenever, so you work with highly technical projects, right? So when it comes to breaking down that technical understanding of the team that you built the product out, how do you do that? How do you bridge the gap of, because I personally believe that any product, any project, any layer 1, layer 2, whatever you may be, right? If you can't break it down within 15 seconds, given how short the attention span is with people, on social media and so on, how do you break something like a cruise finance or a super oracles down within that 15 seconds and get people hooked onto it?
Yeah, a good one. Especially Web3, it's a heavily jargonish industry. Everywhere you're seeing words like account abstraction and ERC20. Like, it's so difficult to get a grasp with when you are just trying to believe in the industry, and these words come up. And addressing the point of breaking down the technical stuff, I personally think I'm pretty good with making someone understand any concept in the simplest way possible. And what I believe, like the content that I consume from the internet, understanding Web3, if I want to learn, let's say, account abstraction, for let's say the FTX crash, I watched 5 videos for the same, and I didn't find any one easiest explanation. But watching those 5 pieces of content made me come up with the type of explanation that was the easiest. So it's not about the content you are putting out there, it's about who is putting out the easiest content and the most digestible content. That person is going to win. So in terms of breaking down it, people say that make it understand to a 5-year-old person or something like that. I develop a pretty good knack of chumming up any project, any technical project, and making it simplistic. Like, for example, talking about super oracles can be a very, technical topic to understand. But in very simple and layman terms, it's like a device which helps blockchain communicate with the outer world. As simple as that. It is and the technical explanation could be it is feeding you external information like price feed data, the actual facts, and helping you communicate. But it's as simple as that. So this thing actually kickstarted from cruise finance because the concept itself was a pretty technical concept for me as well, coming from a marketing background. And I need to learn that what is that one line, how do I pitch it in one line that makes anyone look back and okay, can you elaborate, or anyone makes them stop this scrolling on Twitter and just go through that post. And I think where this comes from is elaborative learning. You go through the white papers, and if you're not understanding, you go through the video concepts, and you go through all the rest of information available. And I think this is kind of ability that people develop themselves. For example, when I started doing the community moderation, like my first internship, I didn't knew anything about Web3, and people were talking about okay, what is the token standard? What is ERC20? I'm like, what is that? So I used to reverse learn that. I used to go back on Google, type ERC20, and learn. So to understand Web3 better, you have to have this reverse engineering mentality, because to be honest, things are not structurally available for us to learn, and we have to pick up bits and pieces, frame our own definition, and try to converse. So I think you have to have that reverse engineering mentality that will help you in every field that you're going forward.
Awesome. Lovely. And what role do you think conferences, events have played in that?
Right. So, there has been this huge negative connotation that Web3 became an events industry and stuff. What people don't understand is Web3 is such a phygital space. You are creating such a technical, inclusive product, or ecosystem or structures. But you need our first step is not getting users. Our first step is getting awareness and belief that hey, we are building this blockchain, this is an actual product. So phygital, being there on the ground and having human one-to-one interaction, talking about their product, having that human touch, which specifically spiked after the COVID era also, because all these things going on around in the online world, you have to be on the ground. So I think events definitely play a major role. They basically paint this positive factual figure. We have the tons of events happening throughout the year, and just to I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. There might be 80% of people who are just there for the parties and just for the event's sake, but those 20%, they are the ones who are going to be the Google, the Microsoft, the Amazon, like this level. This is their playing field in terms of Web3, and they're going to take it forward. So it's basically it's the technology isn't to be blamed here. It's just human nature, assuming that this is to be happening. And to kickstart, like internet took what, 10 years to be actually in the mainstream, in the limelight. This is going to take time, and that could be only accelerated with physical meetups. So events play a major role for sure.
Any pieces of advice that you give to event organizers that okay, keep this in mind so people actually show up and enjoy your event?
Right. I think I have myself to organized a lot many events, and what I've learned and relearned and unlearned maybe, you have to maximize the learning of the attendees and whoever is coming to that. And see, people are getting leads for their projects, people are getting jobs, people are getting hired and fired going to events, and people are getting to meet these thought leaders of Web3. But in an event, like if there is it's an event of 200 people, one person is not going to talk to all 200 of them, right? But there are other people sharing data repositories of hey, just go ahead and cold DM and contact them. The event organizers should do that to maximize the chances of two people, of every people interacting with everybody. So I think these are some pre-event or post-event steps as well. Like I think this thing that we're doing before for the this whole video campaign for the video is something that is generating awareness in itself, and we are talking about important stuff that should be talked about. We are discussing, this is gonna go out, people will get to know the thoughts, what's going on in the industry. So these kind of gestures and these kind of boxes, if you tick mark, you just multiply the importance of your event, and definitely will entice people to be there more.
Awesome. So, one of the things that I do want to lightly touch upon is I didn't want to make the whole discussion about it, but definitely I feel it's worth mentioning, which is the fact that the level of female participation, right, within the ecosystem, within the industry is, ridiculously low. In an industry that claims to be inclusive, which I truly believe in the vision that we are definitely way more inclusive than, the Web2s of the world, the consulting agencies of the world, and so on and so forth. So, what is it that you have personally seen that are probably good things that you've experienced in events, in the industry in general, and what are some of the bad things that you feel that people should be avoiding?
Right. So, I think we definitely label this industry as being inclusive because there is no, like state level type of, that this hierarchy or this degree that you need to have and stuff, the value experience. But also, the point is to be considered that there are all types of people in Web3. There are people who seriously consider inclusivity as a core. There are people who not. So coming to women participation, I have seen events where I'm the only girl there, and I've seen pictures, and this is being talked about in women communities. um, so it's just a matter of different types of people there. And definitely, in order to increase women participation, I think effort does not needs to be from one side, it has to be another. For example, being it's a general saying, that if she wants to do, she'll do it, she'll figure it out. If you like, if a person can sitting by home online figure out how to build stuff, learn coding languages, you can find opportunities, although those opportunities have to be available. They have to have a marketing bandwidth that is making them reaching out to various women in the community. So that is definitely one. And I think the something like exclusive and specific women cohorts, women only, I think women only is the word that will organically get my traction, because and that will definitely uplift other women to be a part of that also. Like if anything is labeled as women in blockchain, I would want to be a part of it, because I know it is, and it is, it is targeted for an audience that are looking for things to grow and get on about. Or maybe someone is wants to talk about how to crack Web3 interviews or what to do in BD and ecosystem stuff. So that would definitely ick me more. And I think similarly happens for other women also. So everyone has to make conscious efforts of having women in blockchain, women in Web3, these kind of specifically designed and curated for them campaigns. This would definitely uplift the things that are not being done right now.
How do we make it not preachy? Because I think it's a personal, pet peeve of mine that a lot of people do this, right? There's women in Web3, XYZ, so on and so forth. And honestly, doing these series of interviews, what I wanted people to know, and what our whole goal behind this was essentially saying the fact that yes, it's about women in Web3, but these are just dope people who've done dope shit, and they've excelled in the industry, and that's a model that you should base yourself off of. So my question personally to you is, how does, and of course it's a male dominated industry, right? There's a 8 in 10 chance that women in Web3 event is going to be organized by a man. So how does that particular person make it less preachy, make it less virtue signally, that okay, we're not just doing a event on Web3 for women just for the sake of doing a Web3 for women event, right? There is something a little bit more deeper, a little bit more stronger beyond that, rather than it just existing like that.
Got it. I think to not make it sound preachy or kind of markety, like we're not selling it to sell, but it's like a conscious effort from our end that you're welcome in this event and we want you here. I think this is something like I see a lot of like I attend Twitter spaces like almost on a regular basis just to listen what people are talking about, and the conversations are very scripty. They are very like it's scripted in a way, and they are very still jargonish, which I don't like to say. They need to be very organic. How the more open conversations we have, the more anybody or not just a girl, anybody, any builder would be inclined to be a part of that thing. And in order to invite more women and make it seem that make it seem organic and really want them to believe that we are working for the betterment of the industry, you need to have people also need incentive to get up from their house and go to an event. So you need to have that starting from little things. I think the threshold for women to get into this Web3, this industry, is it has to be very baby steps, because people are more concerned about how do I get my first internship in Web3, rather than learning about, okay, what is the funding environment of Web3. So if you name a panel only that jargonish, people will not be, okay, it's just another panel of another event. If you name it, we are going to give you 10 steps that will make you crack an interview, and like for sure, like you take it in a written form from us or something. So I think conversations need to be more open, organic. It will just generally attract more people. Definitely, for sure.
So don't, from a marketer, your advice is don't be markety, right? Don't sound jargonish, and just keep it simple. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And honestly, with a lot of projects that I see organically growing, organically building an audience, organically building a community, most of them don't even talk about their product, right? And if they do, it is in the least complicated way possible, right? And I think that is, even if your audience is technical, and I've had, I don't know how many conversations with project founders who are technical founders, and trying to explain to them that no matter how good or technically sound your project is, ultimately what determines its success, in terms of the kind of share of voice it has in a heavily crowded space, right, is the simpler you keep it, the more people understand it, and more than anything else, something that we call word of mouth, that happens when it's just easy to talk about you. If it's complicated to talk about you, know that nobody is in their right mind is going to talk about you. Honestly, it's funny that you mentioned that 80% of people attend events for the parties, but I also know for a matter of fact that a lot of great conversations happen at parties, right? So, in a very funny, joking way, I tell some project founders that, guys, 99% of conversations that are going to be the most valuable, you're going to have them at parties. And if your project sounds complicated to a drunk person who does not remember it in the morning, not going to have any retention value. So I mean, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, okay, that's how we've sort of evolved, and that's how the industry has been. But at the end of the day, I think even for shorter attention spans and social media and stuff like that, that's a really, really key factor over there. So
Sure.
awesome. And so you're coming to Bangalore. I think you're flying tomorrow. So what are you looking forward to? Are there any particular people that you're looking to meet? Any particular things that you're excited about? Give me the breakdown.
Right. So yeah, definitely excited to attend these events. I'm pretty excited for Polygon Connect, especially. And I'm actually looking forward to, because there are so many things going on left and right, the innovation. Every day you wake up, there's some or the other news. I'm looking forward to learn from people on ground what they're building. Because
Hmm.
um, uh, this, as you mentioned, conversations, may you are finding some interesting pivots or some new collab, people are finding their co-founders in parties and stuff. So I'm looking forward to these kind of conversations. Okay, what's going on in the ecosystem, what people are building, what are they believing, what are they not believing in, especially with this whole thing with Binance and so many things happening in all of this tech industry. So looking forward to these conversations. And in terms of people, I mean, almost every event has such a great panel. So hoping to have conversations with those industry leaders for sure. And yeah, that's all, I think.
And are you coming to back to Builders 2.0?
Of course, there's no question.
All right. So, just for the audience, Back to Builders 2.0 is the second edition of the annual event done by Blockchain India. This is happening on the 9th of December at the Zuri Hotel in Whitefield, Bangalore. We are looking forward to meeting all of you, listening to your projects, understanding what it is that you're building. Because quite honestly, like Aditi was talking about, the industry has gone through a downtime, and there are still, I'm seeing pretty much every single event that's happening um, during this India Week, as we call it, or the IBW now, which is the secondary terminology of it. But what I'm most excited about is all of these events are jam packed. Like I don't think there is any event that has space left. All of them are packed to the brim, which essentially tells you how active definitely the ecosystem is, how vibrant it is here in India, definitely, and more importantly, how important it is for you to attend these events, have conversations with people, try to understand what the hell it is that's happening all around you. And you might be introverted, you might feel a little intimidated to come up to somebody like an Aditi or anyone in the industry that you might be talking to. What I would say is definitely the industry is very, very inclusive. I mean, I don't know any Web2 event that has community partners. I don't think that terminology even exists over there. So I think take advantage of it. We're young, we're nimble, we're agile, and that's the way to go forward with it. That's what we're trying to do at Back to Builders, is support founders, builders, innovators, even investors for that matter, to meet the right kind of people and help them grow. So thank you so much, Aditi, for jumping on today, and hope to see you in Bangalore soon. Any last words from you?
This was actually a great conversation. Thanks for having me. And yeah, like the thing that you mentioned about side events, I just told my parents that I'll be attending they were like in disbelief. What is that? The show what are events and stuff? So it's really great to be. I'm very grateful to be a part of this ecosystem, and I'm all in for it. And what Arnav mentioned right now, if you are intimidated to talk to anybody or an Aditi, don't be, all these events, like they just basically force you out of your shell, and that's what your goal should be. So don't be, go talk to the maximum number of people you can, network as much as possible, and looking forward to meeting you all, and you, Arnav, as well. And this was great.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, guys. See you in Bangalore. Bye.